see what happens. Okay.
If she knows that about you, she must know your real name too.
Harry Dubois. One corrupt motherfucker with the disco pants and a funny tie. Agent to la puta madre.
So she knows your name. That doesn't mean you're on the take. Criminals make up bogeyman stories about cops all the time. All of this just means that you're effective. Criminals know you and are scared of you.
Is that a joke or a threat? I'm guessing both. Yeah, sure.
She doesn't believe you.
I'm sure La Puta Madre himself will explain it all to you soon enough. You've been to my lorry. You think the biggest player in Jamrock appreciates competition? And now I have Harry Can Opener in my lair. Fucking Titus.
I thought we had an agreement, she thinks. This was not supposed to happen. Wait, one thing. Possibly small, but she said you rolled into town. Was that you singular or plural? She might know something.
How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful gossip over the radio.
Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez.
Police radio? You've been following the case?
Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him there, in Clausia's room, lying on his side. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long while.
Yay. She just lets me?
You did it. The compressor lie's broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It still hurts like hell, but...
You okay, Kim?
All good, officer. Be careful.
She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles.
Oh, fuck it.
Oh, shit. What are you doing?
Problem solving.
Ma'am, put the gun down. That's not the solution to your problems. You are...
Oh, yes it is.
6 or higher, the odds aren't that bad.
She's truly desperate.
Thank you, game.
She thinks she has no other options. You need to give her options. You know.
Maybe I can still talk her out of it?
This is how you talk her out of it. It's the only scenario in which she lives.
I wish I could just let you go, but I have to follow protocol. Don't tell me. Oh, fuck.
She pulls the trigger before you finish your sentence. You watch as her brains trickle out through her neon hair.
Fuck.
Get a hold of yourself. He needs your support now, too.
We clean up. It may take days for processing to pick up her body. We need to move it somewhere. That tent there.
I didn't want to do that. Fuck. Fuck.
The plain red tent stands by dispassionately. You see a rolled-up sleeping bag and personal belongings.
We should put her in the sleeping bag, so the rats don't get to her.
The lieutenant nods. There she lies, cocooned in the sleeping bag, surrounded by empty cigarette packs, books, and half-read magazines. Magazines? You should look through them. Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines.
See anything?
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazines doesn't have images on the cover. It's not a magazine, it's a leather notebook. You pocket the worn brown leather journal. She watches by, motionless.
We should read this immediately, like right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I really don't think it was her. I don't think it was her. Yeah, this seals it, I feel like.
A thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it around in their back pocket.
Examine the cover.
It's made of full-grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name, Schneller. This was important to her when it was still hers. The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled.
Study the handwriting.
The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently. Perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and in the margins. It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
Okay.
We could learn a lot from this.
Yeah, what kind of logistics?
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes. I can give this to her after we finish this.
Professionalism is his coping mechanism. Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density. You make out a familiar spiral shape.
Okay, anything personal?
Short, wry observations of people and places. Probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them. The way some of those question marks trail off into ellipsis, she was going through a tough time. Staff issues, always tough on the leadership. You smell traces of betrayal.
How far did the entries go?
The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable. Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. But that's another matter entirely.
Yeah, she isn't the one killed.
She is referring
The
to
guy.
betraying a previous employer. Does this suggest she did it in self-defense? That name isn't mentioned as far as you can tell. Small wonder. Would you talk about La Puta Madre in your journal? You do see an M, though. La Puta Madre? M is mentioned on March 9th and March 15th.
March 9th first.
Great. M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching. But also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over my shoulder. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call? Were you supposed to find her? Even apart from the investigation, then? On M's request? No, you wouldn't do something like this. This must be a mistake. Whatever you may look like, you don't feel like a hired assassin. Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys, for example. But experience tells me, did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures, first of all. Gotta make a living, right? I can still hear his voice in the receiver. Taste the plastic.
Yeah, one thing I was afraid that the longer I was under that machine Ruby setup, I was going to lose health and I wouldn't be able to get more information. That's why I thought I asked enough questions and I asked enough questions and then knocked the machine over. I'm not gonna reload for this save through because I don't want to like load back and replay. We'll see what happens.
The entry ends abruptly. The call was a courtesy. He must have held her in high regard to personally tell her he knew about her plan to run drugs for the competition.
What was the most recent entry?
The most recent entry is from today. It reads, even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning.
I don't think she killed the mercenary.
Oh,
It looks like she might have been framed.
yes.
This whole thing was a detour, and a fatal one. Don't get emotional.
By the Hardy Boys? By Classier? By us? No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure.
He truly does not believe you are. Perhaps he shouldn't be so trusting. His trust is well placed. You aren't. You can feel it.
Classier was the one who pointed the finger at Ruby. Perhaps she was trying to steer us away from herself, or...
But no one heard the shot. That's the thing. No one heard the shot. What's up with that?
maybe she had an accomplice. Either way, we need to keep
That
an eye on her.
thought did occur to me, but I thought it might have been Ruby's accomplice.
One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling and rags. Questions to ask. We should get to it.
Okay. This is... I'm going to end soon, so don't worry. Well, this is not fun. Okay. How's my stats? It's not bad right now, so I'll probably just stay like this. Clean out the rooms. I think that's the only one. Okay. So I'm gonna save here, not this one, but I'm gonna save here. There we go. So 2 save files. Okay. Okay, so that'll be it for today. Okay. I have